Glendale Supercross was one for the record books. As always, we start in FanFest, but this time around we didn't make any stops. We went straight to Star Racing Yamaha to meet with one of my very good friends, Josh Shorter, who is a Thor rep, to ask him a few questions about their gear. My guy.
Hello.
How are things, man?
Good. Good to see you. Thanks for having me. Good to be on. We're out here at Glendale, ready for the whatever round it is for an awesome season.
It's been an awesome season so far. Speaking of awesome, some of the guys riding your gear have an amazing season, especially AP. He had that non-win, then threw on the gear again and actually won it. What was that like?
That brings up a whole array of feelings for that one, and I gotta be honest with you, and I'm watching the broadcast, rewatching the broadcast. They're showing him throw it away last year.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why do you got to bring up old stuff? Can we just let that go?
Right.
And then the cowboy goes and he gets it done and he gets that thing checked off. And I tell you what, nobody has worked harder or deserves it more than America's mascot, right?
Yeah.
He's the guy.
So here's the question that's been coming up in my comments. When we talk about gear, a lot of times you hear that the pros get something completely different than what I can buy off the shelf. Can you speak to if that's true and to what extent it's true?
We get this question all the time. And the short answer is yes.
Okay.
But it's just like anything. Okay. There are those riders that can adapt to what you hand them right off the shelf.
Yeah.
They get used to it, they get comfortable in it, and that's what they learn and that's what they get. There are riders that want something a little bit different. I'll give you a great example of that.
Yeah.
Is our pant sizing. So in our Prime collection this past year, we rolled out our Prime pants in odd sizes. So what we call our race spec sizing is what we refer to it as in the catalog of the website, things like that. You'll see that. Race spec sizing came about because those pros, now you got to think about it. These are the top, these are the elite guys. Their comfortability is such a fine-tuned thing. They feel every tiny thing on the bike, every tiny thing in their gear, their helmet, their boots, all that stuff. So when it comes to that, we're able to make these modifications even within an inch or half an inch sometimes to make this happen. A race spec sizing on Prime pants came about because a lot of our riders were right in between a 28 and a 30, a 30 and a 32. So we got to offer them a 29, offer them a 31, 33, etc. So things like that happen. Now, back to specifically on race day. Tonight in Glendale, do we have guys out there and stuff that is not what you can buy off the shelf? Absolutely. Everybody? No, not everybody. Like I said, most of the guys wear exactly what we make. But here and there, they'll need an adjustment to it. We'll make them something custom from the factory and work it into the collection as it goes down the line. So what it essentially boils down to is race testing your product. I mean, we can't make product for elite level global racers without testing it on them in the racing environment.
That's a good
big
point.
difference.
Yeah.
Test track, the stopwatch nationals, as everyone says, that's one thing. But man, when you're out there in it in the main event on Saturday night, it's a huge difference. And the feedback we get at the end of Saturday night, win or lose, and man, if they lose, it's not fun. But you're getting that information back and you're building the product based on that knowledge. Josh is probably one of the coolest guy in the pit, so if you're ever by the Thor or Yamaha tent, definitely go say what's up to him. By this point, qualifying was starting to wrap up for a lot of the riders, so a lot of guys were coming back into the pits. Now, we couldn't catch up with very many of them because we had to make our way over to AJE to meet up with Chris Blos, owner of Phoenix Suspension. You actually can see him here in the corner talking to Varice after his qualifying in practice. We're here with Chris Blos, owner of Phoenix Suspension. Hey man, tell me, so do you come into it and say, this is what I think is gonna work best, and then once they're out there doing their practice laps, you come back? Is there any time that you're completely off, or do you have to like reassess the whole situation, or do you find that it's most of the time just like minor adjustments here and there?
Yeah, just like you said, it's kind of minor adjustments. Like these guys have been running the same setup for a while now, and they've been pretty happy. So just making like small tweaks to it, nothing major, just little tweaks after every practice. Sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes we end up going back to where we were.
Really?
Yeah, and so yeah, it just all depends on what they are interpreting on the track versus the changes we make.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for your time. Ken Roxon's bike was definitely on fire for Glendale. Here is his mechanic and the bike making their way into the stadium. Then I headed over to Team Solitaire to say what's up, but they were working through some technical issues and I didn't want to get in the way. What I will say though is always go say what's up to these guys. They're so cool to the fans. Follow them on socials. They are so engaging. But after that, Cade Clayson came through.
All right, we are here with Cade Clayson. What's going on, man?
Just enjoying the day, trying to get comfy on the track and embrace that it's kind of cold here. At least it's sunny. It's supposed to rain at some point. Who knows?
Yeah. Have you gone inside? Has any of the rain made it to the track, or do they have everything covered up?
Everything's covered. It's closed. They said they're going to keep it closed even if it rains. So yeah, we'll be good. Yeah, you would have thought with how muddy it was this morning that it rained, but no, they just like their water trucks here.
So you've been at this for a little while, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you still show up and get like nervous? Do you still get those like butterflies in the stomach, or are you like, this is just work, this is what I do?
I would say I don't really get nervous. I feel like I have a race day mood.
Okay.
That my wife doesn't appreciate. But,
okay, that's
but other than that, no. I feel like I know how to jump triples. Like I know how to jump rhythm sections. It's more or less. It's like coming to work, right? Like, it's obviously a different mindset than when you're at home and you're just doing whatever.
Yep.
But no, I wouldn't say nervous is really something that I get anymore.
Okay.
Just because I'm here to do a job and I've done it enough times, I know what I'm doing.
This one, if you don't want it to, it won't go on YouTube.
Let's shoot it, dude. Let's do it.
How often have people walked up to you and talked to you about you stopping Hunter?
You know, not that much.
Really?
I got a bunch of DMs. Like sometimes people will comment on stuff like keep Hunter out this weekend too, or something like that. But really, yeah, not very much. It's actually funny. Just like that first week, like everyone was like, "Oh, you kept him out of the main." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but so did the 3 dudes in front of me."
Totally.
So it's funny. I've talked with Hunter a couple times since then. Like, you know, he knows we were just racing and whatnot. But yeah, no, it really wasn't that big of a deal actually. I mean, we're both here to do a job, right? It sucks that me being successful has to mean someone else kind of fails, but
that's the name of the game.
Yeah, it's the name of the game, right? We're just here to do what we can.
After wrapping up with Cade, we walked inside to get a better look at the track. Obviously, being down on the stadium floor is a completely different vibe than being in the stands. There's that water truck that Cade was talking about. We started off at the start gate, and as you can see, a lot of those ruts were already developing. And you'll definitely see more of those, but the Dirtworks crew was out there trying to get things prepped up. In case you didn't know, Glendale had the longest rhythm section of this season, and here it is. It is really, really long. Not too high or steep of jumps, but I will say they are one after the other. And when they get rutted up with faces like this, they are nuts. Check out this turn. I really wanted to showcase these ruts just from practice. Here's my foot inside of one of them. That's about up to my ankle. Next was the whoop section, and check out how hard these whoops are. They felt like cement. I'm not even kidding. And then when you throw in these ruts and G-outs, you can understand why a lot of guys have trouble in the whoops. Although it was a short set, I will say I would definitely not want to hit these whoops whatsoever. Here's one of the sand sections, and here's the entrance to that sand section. You can see a sand wall was starting to develop, and then when I actually touched the sand, holy moly, that stuff was soft. I'm really surprised more people weren't tucking their front ends in this stuff, especially with how big these ruts were getting. Check out all the different lines here. Like, you can see tires are going everywhere when they hit the sand. Here's the finish line gap, pretty big as you can tell.
So of course I hit the only spot that's full of mud.
On the way out, we checked out the podium, but I wanted to stop for a moment and really take in how crazy it feels to be on the floor. It's understandable why racers take time to adjust to this kind of feeling. Once we got back to our seats, we checked out some of the amazing racing going on in the 250 and 450 class. Here's Levi Kitchen getting ahead of the 250 class. Check out this hot lap.
Exactly where he wants to be, JB. Out of the gate, that was incredible. His launch off the metal grade start was absolutely incredible. Carson Bunker in the mix as well, right behind him, and we got a race, Haley.
Next up, the 450s dropped the gate, and dude, look at Ken's start. Even when it feels as if he's not going to get it, he somehow powers through right here and immediately starts to gap the field. Check out his hot lap.
Roxon with a brilliant start. Number 7, Aaron Plessier's right behind him. Chase Nash in your fastest qualifier in third. Got the two. He Marks in third. Eli Tomac looking to get around Vince Freezy, the fourth position. Wow, look at ET3. Can he make the pass through the sand? He dives it inside. He got one by Cooper, one of him in the top line of the sand. That's going to chop off.
Here's Jet passing Eli. Now, I think all of us were hoping for a better battle than this, but you can see that he is holding him off a little bit. Jet goes outside, Eli inside, so Jet goes back outside, then cuts inside. They battled kinda for a second, but right here you can see Jet just takes it away. But let's not take away from the fact that this guy right here, Ken Roczen, got it done handedly. Here he is crossing that finish line. Hope you guys liked this episode of our vlog series. Thank you so much to my guy Josh Shorter over at Thor for taking so much time out of his day to talk to me. He's a very important guy who's really busy, and he gave me about 30 to 45 minutes worth of content. Maybe I'll just put out a video of our conversation and me picking his brain over gear and stuff. Let me know in the comments below if you guys would like to see something like that. Thank you to Chris Blos and Cade Clayson. It was race day and they still took time to talk to a fan like me. Really cool of them. Last but not least, thank you guys. I got a lot of you who came up to me at Supercross and said what's up and let me know that you guys were fans of our content. It means so much to me. You have no idea. So thank you for your support. And if you haven't done so, like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Keep shredding.